Well, I want to welcome everybody to the ElderServe District 5 Community Meet and Greet. Thank you all for being here tonight. This is something that we felt was very important, not just for the community, but especially for our community here at ElderServe. My name is Tim Lindley. I've been the CEO now for 3 years here at ElderServe, and I am very proud of what we do here. ElderServe is not a residential facility. Our guests don't live here, but we have our community that comes from really all of the districts. And this is something that, in talking to our community, they were adamant about having. So we're here tonight because we realize in District 5, we've got a number of candidates, and we want to make sure that throughout this entire process, that you have an opportunity to hear from these candidates. We understand it's early in the day. We understand that there's time. We also realize that there are other things that are going on in the city. But one thing I know, being one who's run for a couple of offices, is that the better you get to know the candidate, the better for you. And the earlier you get to know the candidate, the better for us. So this is very important. And if you would, I want to acknowledge all of our ElderServe guests, family here. If you're here, if you come to ElderServe, will you raise your hand real quick? Just raise them up real high. We want to appreciate that. The thought behind tonight was that we felt, both in what we've seen and in talking to our guests, that too many times ElderServe and our community of ElderServe has been forgotten when it comes to uh, local politics and those who come through this community. You see folk come everywhere except here. So part of the role that I wanted to play here at ElderServe was to make sure early and often that those who are seeking candidacy, those who have offices, that they understand that ElderServe is a necessary and critical stop on your trail. That this community is the most dedicated and loyal voting base, and we want to make sure that every candidate knows how important this is. The other part of this, and I just want to make sure that I'm very clear about it, because I see, we're not checking with candidates' schedules. When you decide to run for office, you have to make a decision when you will go and when you'll do it. And I'm unapologetic about that. When I ran for mayor, they had a whole lot of events. I'm a pastor too. Some of those events fell on Bible study night. Guess what? I couldn't go to everything. What I couldn't do was call the event organizer and say, cancel that because I can't be there. It's not how that works. So we're here tonight because we believe our elders, our seniors matter. With that being said, let's welcome and thank all of the candidates who are here tonight. I also believe we have some present sitting elected officials who are here. If you're here, will you stand? Wait, let us know. I saw Judge. There she is. Judge Buck, God bless you. Thank you. And we want them to know how much we appreciate them. The candidates have already been given the questions. We're going to go through those questions first. And if we have time, on your table, there are slips of paper where you can write questions down. If it's all right with the candidates, we will go through those and make sure that we're asking what's pertinent to you. So I want to make sure that you know. I'm also very appreciative to have the youth chapter of the NAACP here tonight. And I want my very good friend Kelly, who I've known for years, she's going to come with the NAACP, and she's going to introduce our fellow moderators, those who are helping us tonight. When she's done, we'll come back and we'll get started.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, I'm church girl, so y'all got to talk back. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I am Kelly Cunningham, and I currently serve as the NAACP Kentucky State Conference President, which means I represent the entire state of Kentucky for our NAACP adult branches. We're proud in Louisville that we have not only our adult branch, but we have the Louisville Youth Council, We have the NAACP chapter at the University of Louisville campus, and we also have a chapter at Simmons College of Kentucky. So we are all separate entities, and the young people wanted to get involved tonight because guess what? They are on the table. They are on the ballot, even though they're not eligible to vote. They have a voice. They're not the leaders of tomorrow. They're the leaders of today. So our young people need to be heard. So I want the members of the NAACP Louisville Youth Council to stand, please. So these are our leaders of today. We will be led by our president, Darian Morris. Wave, Darian. And as you know, NAACP, we are nonpartisan, but we are political as hell. And we are always accepting members, especially for our young people and our youth council. So if anybody's interested in joining either the adult branch or the youth council or the units that we have at Simmons, University of Louisville, please let us know if we can get you hooked up. So the young people are going to be helping with the session. They're going to be helping moderate. And then also, if you need the slip to write the question, they'll be collecting in the little orange offering basket. Raise it, wave it. Yep. So if you need assistance in getting your question answered, somebody already ready? Is there another one? There's some. There's some. So if kids get busy, go collect them. Go on and collect them. Go on. You see them? They waving. So we want to thank you all for coming out. We thank the candidates. Please continue to listen to, pour into our young people of this community because they do matter. They don't matter yesterday, tomorrow, in the future. They matter right now. Okay.
All right. As you heard Kelly say, they'll be walking around getting your questions. We likely won't be able to get to everybody, but we're going to get to as many as we can. But we do have a set predetermined questions that each candidate received over time. So at this point, asking all candidates who are here, if you would make your way to the stage. Like I said, each have already received questions. We're going to ask them. Again, the focus tonight is so that you will get to know these candidates better. For each one of the candidates, there is a timer, so that way we can get through everything. I don't have a buzzer or a horn, so I'm just going to get on the mic and say, time. And then, hopefully. So with that being said, I'll kick it off with our first question. And if you all can just kind of go down the line, and we'll start with candidate Ray Barker. Come this way, and we'll just keep alternating back and forth. And we'll go, okay, you can stand if you want to, or you can stay seated. Well, your candidacy was almost over. There it is. Look at God. We'll fight another day. But so we're going to ask, you can stay seated though. Those are important. Matter of fact, you definitely stay seated. All right. So here we go. This first round of questioning. This is our getting to know you question. So here's the question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your journey, and what experiences have shaped you for who you are today.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ray Brinley C. Barker. And first, I'd like to thank Pastor Tim Finley for putting on this event. This was very thoughtful of you. Thank you. Guys, the reason why I'm here, I'm going to give you 3 words to summarize why I'm here. First is time. Second is talent. And the third is treasure. Let's take time. In this community, I have put in the time in this community to prepare myself for this job. Some of us don't put in the preparation for the promotion. Some of us just show up. Not saying anyone at this table did that. but I have put in the time. And what happens when you put in the time? The community trusts you. Just today, someone called me and said, my brother died and I need help. Lord, no, I don't have the resources to help everyone that has a kinfolk that died, but I was able to turn that young brother over to a group called the Jesus Group, and they gave him all the help they needed. But the fact is, this young brother trusted me enough to call me during times of trouble. The second is talent. Many of you guys know Sir Friendly C because some of us call him a rapper, a singer, a prayer warrior, a general manager, a policeman. No matter what you know me from, I've used these talents to improve
10 seconds.
Louisville. And the last one is treasure. Everybody in this room is my treasure. I love this community with all my heart, and I plan on fighting to improve the quality of life for this community. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your journey, and what personal experiences have shaped who you are today. 2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. I am Betty Bailey. Short, sweet, simple. I am fourth generation Shawnee. I am deeply rooted right here in the West Louisville community. As an adult, I have been down here on my own since 2010, and I am very proud of it. One is many things that have shaped me from who I am today, but one thing I have to point out is my children. My own children shaped me to be who I am today. I had to adjust a lot being a young mother. I had my first child when I was only 18 years old, no regrets whatsoever. Those children of mine, they have strengthened me in ways that words can't even express. So for those who was wondering who I am a mother, I am a wife, I'm a provider to my family. That's who I am.
My name is Wallace Gordon III, and I'm a lifelong Louisville. I was born to be a terrorist in 1957. I guess that made me 68 older than most of you here. We moved to 2222 Hill Avenue in 1960. I was 3 years old. We were the second black family to move in the neighborhood. My father is the late Reverend Dr. Wallace Garner Jr. My mother is the late Louise Marshall Garner. A member of the Ohio State basketball championship in 1975, go Bulldogs. I hold an associate degree from the Community College of the Air Force, a bachelor's degree of science and communication from Spalding University, a bachelor of science in early elementary education from the University of Louisville, and a master's in administration from the University of Louisville. I'm a retired teacher from Louisville and a retired master sergeant in the United States Air Force. You're the boss. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Again, Reverend Finley, thank you for coordinating this. Thank you guys for coming. All right, so my name is David. Good evening, everyone. I grew up in the Smoketown neighborhood. That is where my roots are. My grandfolks lived there 50 plus years. Went to Louisville Central Medical Academy. You know, people that didn't go to Central don't like to say it that way, but that's where I went. With the University of Kentucky, I have an education degree. My dream was to teach high school social studies. I was mentored by some very strong educators, if that wasn't in the cards for me. Went into the private sector. I was a corporate trainer for 15 years for a local insurance company. Got a lot of polish there. Met a lot of great people. Left there, started a life insurance brokerage firm, which I still maintain. I opened a restaurant. Did that for a couple years. I've been in the social services space for
15 years, because in this economy, you all know you got to work more than one job. So I've had to do life insurance, I cook, and I'm in the social services space. I'm married. I have 4 beautiful daughters, 2 grandchildren. Uh, and personal, part of that question, what shaped me? I grew up in a depressed area. Y'all know Smokeland is a depressed area. And I saw a lot of friends die. I saw a lot of friends go to prison. And uh, fortunately, I had enough people in my circle to kind of redirect me and point me in the right direction. So that's one of the things that I'm thankful for. And I want to use my platform to push others in the right direction, propel District 5 forward.
Good evening, everyone, and to all of the candidates here and all of the organizers. I just want to say thank you for coming out. To everybody in the audience, thank you all for giving us your time, even with the threat of bad weather. You all have showed up and showed out. So thank you for that. So a little bit about me and what has shaped me. I am proud to say that I have lived in District 5 all of my life, and I've worked in the district through JCPS at 3 of our schools. And for over 20 years, I have studied and practiced my religious beliefs at the Greater Galilee Church, which is a community building pillar in our district. I also had the opportunity to live in all 4 parts that make District 5. And what that does is it gives me a very unique lens to see each culture and understand each culture and the differences in each culture, and also as the concerns of the people in District 5, the things that they struggle with in each district. I have been a licensed minister since 2017, and I got active in activism in 2014 after the assassination of Mike Brown in St. Louis. And then I became heavily involved in the uprising here in 2020 after the assassination of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. As many of you all start seeing on the TV.
10 seconds.
That led me to my political involvement, which I became a political organizer and a lobbyist, working on campaigns for Charles Booker, Shamika Fresh Wright, and Andrew Bashir. That's what she.
Check, check, check. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mark Clack. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the CEO and founder of Prominent Youth of America, which is an organization I discovered or founded in 2019. Since that time, I've amassed a lot of different collaborative business partners, such as AMP, United Metro Way, just a lot of different organizations.
And in the process of doing that, what I did was make sure that I had programs for free for young people in the community to make sure that they came to. The reason behind it was because I believe in collaborative partnerships, empowerment, and advocacy for people.
Just a little. I do have a lot of stuff to say, a lot of stuff that I want to talk about as far as my upbringing is concerned. I'm trying to just decipher through it. When I was young, I was raised in Goods West, Phase 3, which is around the time when drugs.
Really present in the community. I also was a part of the Metropolitan Gospel Music Connections Youth Division, which was founded by Ms. Rita Claiborne and Jocelyn Claiborne. We hosted Stop the Violence, Start the Harmony workshop that really empowered me and set me on my way as far as doing advocacy in the community, as well as growing up in Village West too. In Village West, I seen a lot of different things, drugs, seen a lot of gangs, as I said before. And in the process of that, my parents made sure that I was never involved in any of that stuff. and advocating for young people like myself and empowering young people who chose to do everything the right way is what I chose to do. And that's the reason why I founded my organization. The first program that we initiated was the Arts of Music Education and Entertainment. That program that we started is an all-inclusive program. It involves kids learning about copyrights, music licensing, synchronization, and publishing. And through that process, we pay for every single thing that they do, taking them to different colleges and universities. All of these different things help shape who I am, and the reason that I'm here today, and the reason why I'm running for Metro Council.
As we transition to our youth who will start asking the questions, I am going to ask this. If we could leave, if we could hold our applause to the end, we can get through these quickly. Also, if you could silence your phones, that would be wonderful. But, Queen's going to come, and she's going to ask the next question. And again, we'll start with Yvonne on down.
Good evening. So we're going to go to the why of why you're running. So the question is, what inspired you to run for Metro Council District 5? What moment, person, or experience pushed you to step forward into the public service?
This is my second time running for office. In 2018, I ran against Ms. Sherry Hamilton as well as Ms. Donna Purvis. One of the best advice that I received throughout that whole process was to make sure that I go out in the community and stay active. So what I did was, when I lost, I went straight to the Office for Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods and got into the Louisville Ambassador Program. Inside of that program, they provided me with a lot of different resources and tools to go in the community and do community engagement. After I did that, I went on to found Prominent Youth of America. Like I said, I formulated a lot of different collaborative business partners because all our programs are free. And in doing so, having partnerships really makes it easy on for the families that we do service. I also worked in violence prevention for the Cure to Violence International when we came to Louisville in 2023 in the Shawnee neighborhood. Being on the ground, I learned a lot about the community and different things that go on as far as violence relations. It's just a lot of things that I have a lot of different experiences that I've amassed since 2018, and going out in the public and meeting with young people, hosting youth advocacy workshops at the YMCA, bringing in people to do civic engagement with our young people, teaching them about entrepreneurship, teaching them about business and every single thing that they could possibly learn as far as their own professional growth from where they are. And I truly believe in acclimating young people and the people that I service.
Thank you for that question. So I was asked in 2022 by a respected elder in our district to run for the seat, and I had to tell her no at that time because I knew that I wasn't ready, and I also did not want to do any more harm. I wanted to make sure if I do anything, I want to bring my best. But when I seen the disappointment in her eyes, I wasn't okay with that, and so I began to do research. I really got heavily involved in going to Metro Council meetings, and I was already going to the ones that I had an interest in, but I started going to ones I didn't have an interest in because I wanted to see the way that they operated. And I also had some people that I had access to that had previously been in Metro Council seats. And so I started to ask them questions and pick their brains because I needed my questions answered. What exactly does the role look like? What does the responsibility look like? And when that happened, there was a fire that lit in me. And that fire made me learn something about myself. It made me learn that not only am I capable of being a Metro Council member, I want to. I want to be a person that can oversee the budget and make sure that the people know and understand what is going on. I want to be the one that puts the power back into the people of District 5. I want to be the one that is able to push a vote through or stop a vote that could be harmful to the people in our district. And so when I was asked again by this same respected
10 seconds.
elder, I was able to tell her yes. That was in 2024. She asked me to run again in 2024 for a seat in 2026.
And here we are today, and that elder is here with me in support, and her name is Rhonda Mathis.
So most of my adult life, the folks in my circle always would joke with me and say, this is going back to like the Alderman days. They would always say, Dave, you should run for Alderman. So I have a cousin, and he's extreme involved, but anytime there's something going on in the community and I have a semi-solution, he would always say, you know, Dave, not good for Alderman. So it goes back quite some time. So one of the things that I feel like makes sense for me as it relates to District 5 is my experiences with Justice Involved Youth, and what that means. The old school term is juvenile delinquents. You know, that term is, you're not supposed to say that anymore. You're not supposed to say bad kids. So that's where the lion's share of my work history in the social services space lies. And one of my clients, one of my kids, was murdered a couple summers ago. And out of respect for his privacy and his family's privacy, I won't mention his name, but that was what you call a watershed moment for me, because I just feel like, you know, I let him down, we as a community let him down. So that was the moment that I just realized that I could do more than just make Facebook posts. I could actually step from behind the computer and put boots on the ground and take my little voice and my little platform and try to expand it and help save these young folks.
I would not necessarily call it an inspiration, but I call it a need. I've lived in this district for 27 years. Like I said earlier, I'm a lifelong Louisvillian, and at 68 years old and 55 years, I've lived in West Louisville. I ran the district often before I even thought about running for office. And here's some things that I've seen that I want to work on. Customer service, and work with all departments of city government. Abandoned vehicles are a problem. You all know, you've seen them. Enforce housing ordinances. There's houses falling down next to you, making your property value go down. Work with impoundment yards to come get these vehicles. Trees on easement, that's not gonna happen anymore. Sidewalks need to be fixed. The city takes care of sidewalks. We will talk with the city about that. Repair streets and alleys so they can look like they're safe even if they're not safe. Dog ordinance, keep dogs safe so we can keep people safe. Report back to you all issues and concerns. A year with town hall meetings each month to let you know what's going on. You're the boss.
Hello? I agree with you, Mr. Wallace. A term that I heard throughout my work here in the community, see a need, feel a need. And that's what inspired me to make this run. And that's what inspired me to take this run. I see a need. I've been a school bus driver since, 2016. I love what I do, but it also hurts when I have to get on that bus every day and see the needs of our youth and see the needs of our elders who parent our youth within our community. Also, just like you, Mr. Wallace, I see the abandoned property. I live right next door to one. My property value drops, it seems like, every year. And regardless of how many times I wrote up that ticket online, nothing is seeming to be done. No matter how many times a tree has fell onto my home and I'm reaching out to help, seems like no one there to help at all. I have an elder that lives just a few houses down from me. She can't even properly walk our sidewalk because our sidewalk is so damaged. Yet, I constantly see signs that says, your tax dollars at work. I have many neighbors throughout my community who says, hey, we have 15, 20 kids on the block. Basketball rim set up. We all scream and cry about speed hump. For some reason, we don't get those. So that's my why, the reason why I'm stepping up. Because I plan on changing a lot. Not just simply placing a community safe space right there on a much needed street that was once riddled with bullets.
10 seconds.
But it's time for us, for someone to stand up and genuinely do the work that's already been doing the work. That's my why.
The reason why I'm running is because 7 years is enough. You know, when we had the big snowstorm, my wife can verify this, we got the phone calls. Our street is not clear. And I'm like, you do know I'm not the councilman. But they said, Sir Friendly C, you get things done. I said, I'll see what I can do. LG&E, cut off power in West Louisville, we got the phone calls. I'm saying, I ran against Ms. Purvis 4 years ago because I got enough phone calls to fill up a telephone bank. And I said, Ms. Purvis, we've had enough of this. And guys, when I ran against her 4 years ago, I lost by 35 votes. That means the community is tired of being tired. And so I owe it to my community, which I lost by 35 votes, and I took that as a learning lesson on what I need to do to correct it this time around to get back in there and fight for this community. So you all are my motivation for being up here today so I can make sure, my senior citizens can't sit on the porch. Are you kidding? And young people are dying at an alarming rate. Are you kidding? Yes, I'm back in this because enough is enough. I plan on providing the leadership and the compassion for this community to push it forward.
Tell us about a time you had led a challenge or a disagreement. What did you learn about yourself and about people through that experience? Tell us about a time you had to lead through a challenge or disagreement. What did you learn about yourself and people through your experience?
Is this so for me? Okay. The question is, tell us about a dramatic time and what you learned from it. Folks, the pictures is in your mind. 2 weeks before it's time for me to retire as a police officer, a young man runs up in a club and he shoots 5 people. And the club is running out and people are screaming, people are laying on the floor, and this young man runs out the club and he faces Officer Ray Barker, Sir Friendly C, and he still has the gun in his hand. And at that time, I said a prayer to God. I said, Lord, I spent my whole 20 years saving young men like this. Please don't let me end my career taking this young man's life. Me and him, we talked and we talked, and I was able to talk him down. He put the gun down on the ground, and I handcuffed him, and he's still in prison for those shootings. But what I want you to see is that everyone in this community means a lot to me. Even at the cost of my own life, I took a couple of extra seconds to ensure that this young man could live one more day. I got the Medal of Valor for taking that young man into custody, but what you don't understand, when he came out the club with that gun, I could have shot him dead and still get the Medal of Valor. But I got the Medal of Valor and he's still alive. And that to me was a dramatic experience and a sharp look into my leadership skill of what I'm going to offer this community.
So I'm gonna get a little personal. Back in 2023, I had to kick down the door to find my nephew gone for gunbound. When I found his body, he was dressed in all black with a hoodie and a ski on. Traumatic is not even a word. Fast forward to recent events. July 3rd, my son was walking home from the park with his friends and his brother to be met with some guy who, and I still don't know why, decided to open fire on them, hitting one of my kids. Now, again, my nephew, when I found him, all black, hoodie and a ski on, literally. And one thing I noticed about our youth is the way that they cope with pain is embodying that pain. So my children found it to be a trend to walk around with a hoodie and ski. Now, mind you, my son got shot on July 3rd. It's 100 degrees at this time. And I had to look in the mirror and know and understand that I made my son a target by allowing his grief to dress him every day. No, my son's not out here in these streets. No, my son's not breaking into anybody's cars, stealing, breaking into anyone's homes or anything like that. It's a trend that all of our youth call themselves embodying. And whether we want to admit it or not, our kids are traumatized out here. Whether it be from seeing us cry due to whatever, broken heart, broken home, our youth embodies that. So I call myself setting up a campaign, no hoodie, no ski. And the only thing I was met with was crickets. Not even an official wanted to help. So yeah, that was one of them doors I had to kick in, my own home.
Once again, teaching school is a challenge. If there's any teachers in here or former teachers, would you raise your hand? Then you know. The first day of school is always a challenge because kids come to the classroom. They don't know who you are. You might have some semblance of them. See, it's a honeymoon period. My first speech was, look here, I'm going to tell you I love you now. But you're not going to like me when it gets cold outside. Because we're not going outside. So if any of you want to try to take Garner down, which kids these days, they talk about that stuff. Remember, there's 24 in here, but 23 ain't going to make it. And they look at each other like, it's still counting. That leaves one of us. I said, yeah, one stay alive for a story later that night. And the parents bust out laughing and the kids are not knowing what to think. Teaching school is a challenge. I transferred to Big Elementary in 1999. The school was in academic crisis. I was teaching 5th grade. We put in the work to get out of crisis and got in rewards. I was chosen as the chairperson in charge of the money distribution. Wow. It was not an enviable position. I wanted to give money to all the employees, but not all the teachers wanted that to happen. So I was getting hate mail, eyes rolled at me throughout the day, but I stuck to my guns and I made sure everybody that came in contact with a kid in their school, that was from the cafeteria workers to the bus drivers, got paid some of that rewards money. I stood my ground. You're the boss.
So I told you guys, I did own a restaurant for 2 years, and anyone that knows me personally knows that I am a big Aries and extremely stubborn. So one of my best workers, a cook, she and I had a heated disagreement, and I honestly don't even remember what it was, but I think it was about the technique about preparing a particular meal. And again, she was one of my better employees, probably one of the best. And so she wanted to do it one way, I wanted to do it another way, and we couldn't come to a clear understanding, and she left. And I was on my, I don't need her, I can do it without you. And then those tickets started rolling through. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, if it gets busy, you need some, adequate staffing. So long story short, I had to swallow my pride, which, if you know me personally, that's a challenge for me at times. And I had to apologize to my employee. And that was a teachable moment for myself, just having to have a conversation with myself to say, hey, you don't know everything. And, some of the people around you, they may have a better skill set than you do in a particular issue. So that for me was definitely a teachable moment. And, it was hard to swallow my pride, but I did. So I apologized. She came back. She started working. We got those tickets out. And, the beat goes on.
Did you say you was in the Aries? Big Aries. I like that. All right. Sorry, I had to make sure I heard what I heard. So I have worked in trauma-informed care for over 20 years, and that includes our foster care system, mental health, substance abuse. Currently, I'm working in domestic violence and substance abuse. I also, that is connected to the community, but outside of that, I also do my own work in the community. And raising kids and attending church regularly, that's a lot, right? In all of the work that I do, I have tried to do everything myself. There's people in the room that can vouch for this. I think that if it's going to get done perfectly, then it has to be done by me. And I have learned that two things are happening when I do this. One, I am not making the people that I work with, my team, feel as if I trust them with whatever it is they're there to do. I just learned that on this campaign. Two, I'm not giving them the opportunity to use their skill set. And so I had to learn how to delegate tasks, and that I cannot do it all by myself. And I shouldn't want to do it all by myself, because that slows down the progress of getting the project done. And so I've learned how to work collaboratively. And it is that collaborative attitude that I will bring as your councilwoman to make sure that I am working collectively to get things done.
10 seconds.
I'm done, baby.
What I'm going to talk about is resilience. In 2020, I lost my mom. 2022, I lost my dad. 2023, my girlfriend was diagnosed with breast cancer. She rung the bell though. In 2024, though, she was diagnosed with brain cancer. She rung the bell though. So I just want to say, resilience is one of the things that I found about myself going through all of these different situations. And there's always a rainbow at the end of a storm. There's always something better. And I learned a whole lot about advocating for other people, empowering other people so that they can do better in life. And then I want to end this on this note. This year I went to Shawnee Middle School to help coach the football team. The school was a losing school, didn't win a game last year, didn't score a touchdown last year. Working with those coaches, we was able to get those kids acclimated through working hard, consistent. Again, back to the word resilience, letting them understand life is not what it was last year. Life is what it is this year and what you can make it this year. Not only did we go undefeated through the whole season, but we won district and we won the varsity for JCPS varsity. So I just wanted to talk about resilience, advocacy, and empowerment.
Public service can be demanding. How do you balance your personal life, family, and well-being with your responsibilities of leadership?
So the first thing I do is I involve my family in every single thing that I do. And my daddy always say communication and understanding is the best thing in the world. So we have to do a lot of scheduling, create a lot of different situations for all of us to be in multiple places at one time. At one point, I remember I was working, I had a youth organization, well, I still have a youth organization, but I was responsible for being in like 2 different places at one time, and at the same time having to work for the Shiny Anti-Violence Coalition team as well. So being able to navigate through those spaces and, like I said, communicate with your family and utilize them to help you as a resource to help empower you to do what you need to do is how we get things done. It's all about communication at the end of the day and making sure that we all on the same page. This is a long journey when it comes to doing community work, when it comes to advocating for youth, when it comes to doing anything in the community that requires all of your time. Your family has to be the backbone of you, and I love my family for doing such.
So, the question is about balancing life and leadership. Okay. So for me, I would say that is going to be focus and discipline. So I've already told you all how I've worked in the community and I've worked in trauma-informed care, served at my church for over 20 years while raising small children. And in the household, there had to be a routine. Kids had to have a bedtime, had to be a dinner time. We had a routine that led up to the dinner time and the bedtime. There also had to be things like a budget that was set in place. But then you had to have the discipline to follow the budget, to follow the routine, right? But when it comes to the leadership part of that, we lead this district together. And I say that because District 5 is not short of concerned citizens. We just don't have the right representation in the seat. And so when you get the right representation that listens to the people and is able to advocate for those people and able to be the voice, we get there together. And as far as my well-being, one of the reasons I love this question is because it makes me think of self-care. As it relates to my well-being, that's non-negotiable. I do understand that I have to be rested and I have to be well, mind, body, and soul, and spirit, in order to show up and lead in the strongest way.
Good answer. I already feel like I'm in a public service capacity, although I'm not an elected official. So I've already been trying to balance my life out, and it is hard. So before I decided to actually put my name in the hat, I had 4 daughters, 2 juveniles, 2 grown daughters. 2 grown daughters doing their own thing. I didn't even really consult with them, but I did consult with my wife. She gave me the green light, and I have 2 small children, and I consulted with them. And they gave me the green light. So once I got the green light from them, I knew I was ready to move forward. But as it relates to like balance, it's just imperative that, so I have 2 jobs currently. One is with folks that are in active addiction, and the other one is for youthful offenders. And working with those 2 populations, they don't always understand that, after 5, don't call me, because they're gonna call, they're going to call you at 2 in the morning or 6 in the morning. So I've already put in place, healthy boundaries. So if I get a call or text after hours, I'll have to address that during my business hours. As far as self-care, I'm big on meditation, I'm big on massages, I'm big on getting pedicures. Guys, take care of your feet, it's important. In my downtime, I will smoke me a cigar. I will have me an adult beverage occasionally. I see some people here that know me from those spaces, but nevertheless, I am big on having a healthy work-life balance, because you can't lean one way or the other. If I come home to my family and all I'm talking about is all the ills of the trials and tribulations of work, they don't want to do that. So you got to have some clear-cut boundaries with your professional life and your personal life. And I think I'm already on track as far as keeping those 2 worlds separate.
Once again, my name is Wallace Glenn III, and I'm a workaholic. What are you supposed to say to me? I won't. My team reflects that also. The team that I put together, a workaholic. And we're gonna work for you. My resume and my background will speak to that. There's much work to be done because of years of neglect here in District 5. District 5 is an oasis. West Louisville as a whole is an oasis. That's the way I see it. It's such a beautiful place. And I hate seeing what's happening to it. That's part of the reason I'm running. But there's so many. There's so many. We must hit the ground rolling when we get in office. Every day, I have faith in the Lord, and the Lord will have faith in me to do the work for you in District 5. I still have my wife, being a workaholic, and she knows there was times I had 5 jobs. I was teaching school, I was coaching basketball, I was coaching track, I was in the military, I was tutoring, I was delivering pizzas of Pizza Hut, all at the same time. So, you know the work's gonna be done when you hire me because you're the boss.
Again, as a mother who started off young, one thing that was embedded in me from my aunts and my mothers is you do not work your kids around your schedule. You work your schedule around your kids. Point blank period. They are our future. So as far as work-life balance, just like Mr. Clay, it is everything to assure that your children, that your family is involved in the same aspect as you when it comes to your community, home. That's just like Sunday morning chores. Hey, you get the bathroom, you get them steps, I got the dishes. It's teamwork. That's what makes the dream work. For those who may or may not know, yes, this was actually planned on a day where I made a promise to my children to be there to support them. And they was very disappointed in the fact that they could not be here to support me. So I took the words of wisdom from someone who just recently spoken to me and says, hey, sometimes when you playing with politics, you gotta stretch yourself a little thin. You gotta be here, you gotta be there. But what's more important is showing up. So I wanna thank each and every last one of y'all for hearing the little bit that I gave y'all tonight. But I'm gonna have to remove myself because again, I made a prior commitment. And my children always stood 10 toes down with me, and I plan on doing the same. So as of right now, I'm gonna excuse myself. And I'm making my way to the Academy of Shawnee to be in support of my children. That's right. And y'all children. Yeah, that's right. And hopefully, once this is over, y'all still have a little bit of time to come and support them.
For me, this question is so easy, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Bible gives you a roadmap for balance. First, give your devotion and love to God. And then from God to your family. And then from your family, who's next? The community. That's right. And so in my world, because I love God, I love my family. And because I love my family, I love my community. And guess what, folks? Sir Friendly C is sitting up here retired. That means I can give God, family, and community all the time they want to make sure everything gets fixed and everything stays fixed. There's nothing pulling me because I'm totally focused focus on what I need to do and how I need to do it. You know, I wake up every morning wondering how and what I can do to fix my relationship with God, to fix my relationship with my family, and to take care of my community. That's how I provide balance. Thank you.
I want to ask the candidates if this is okay. We have easily 100 questions. We have the predetermined questions, and I think we've got a pretty good idea of why you're right. But if you all are okay, and there's no gotcha moments here, I'd like to start asking some of the community questions, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good? Okay. Don't post about this and I set you up. I want to ask one that we've probably gotten about 5, and I figured this will be a good place. We won't get to everybody's question, but we're trying to combine as little as we can. One of the most prevalent questions is this: with so many individuals running for Metro District 5, has there been a discussion about unifying behind the strongest candidate to avoid splitting the vote and to ensure the district has the best chance in being effective? Now, that's about 10 questions. So this one won't go in order. You just jump in.
The truth is no, 100% no. I haven't had any conversations about that with none of the candidates at the table about getting behind whoever we believe would be the strongest candidate. When it comes to splitting the votes in the nonpartisan election, there's 2 people that's going to be going from the primaries to the general election. And I think at that time is the best time to do that for real, to get behind whoever we feel like is going to be the strongest candidate going forward. We need to do it after the primary election, in my honest opinion. Because to tell somebody to drop out of the race for splitting votes when everybody up here is obviously passionate about the work that they do in the community and passionate about running for Metro Council, it's kind of unfair not to hear everybody out and hear everybody's point of view or reasons for running. It kind of don't make sense. So again, I haven't had no conversation like that with nobody on this panel, but in the community, all the time.
I'd like to address that question. There's a word called ego. Anybody know that word? What it means is edging God out. Remember that, edging God out. And because of ego, we won't be able to come to a consensus. But I want to tell you, as a candidate in this race, I once got in a race that I was approached as a forerunner, and they said, "Sir Friendly, if you drop out of this race, we can win this race." And because the community came first in my heart, I dropped out. And I put my support behind that candidate, and that candidate did win. So I'm talking from experience here. But as long as we got ego, edging God out, it's not going to happen.
So I don't know if you all know or not, but there was another person that was running in this district, and her name was Cetrus O'Neill. And she actually did pull out of the race and endorse my campaign. And she told me she did that because she sees me as the strongest candidate. Now, what I will say is that I've tried in my own little way to connect with all of the candidates. I've been in LeBron's inbox saying, "Hey, what's up?" I wrote on David's post on Facebook, and it's just kind of like no conversation, which doesn't mean anything. But my attempt was to start having those conversations. Because let me tell you something, regardless of who wins that seat, if you're serious about this work, we're all gonna have to work together anyway. So for me, It ain't about having the biggest ego or this or that or whatever. I want to go on and start seeing how can we work together now and make the best win-win. Okay? So I started my campaign actually in April. Actually, it was in April. And yes, I was out there first. I'm very visible with my campaign. If there was somebody who I thought could beat the person in the seat, I probably would have gotten behind them and never joined in this race. The reason I am here is because the only person that I knew was going to run did not beat her the last time that they ran against her. But if I had any confidence that he could, you better believe I'd be standing 10 toes down pushing his campaign.
Yeah. That was cool.
That was a real good declaration. I'm here. I'm the one. I'm the one. I wasn't in April, and you didn't know, and he said if someone comes along, I've come along. So. We're going to take care of this thing. Right now, it would be a little premature to throw in the towel, but there will come a time where we need to band together to. I told my wife I wasn't going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. We'll need to band together. That's all I'm going to say. To take back West Louisville. West Louisville is an oasis. Remember this. Remember this. And remember this. You're the boss.
Y'all what? Okay. So a few elements to the room, and that's an excellent question. And so to answer that question, yes, I have heard that sentiment since it's been put out there that I decided that I was going to put my name in the hat. Too many people running, going to split the vote. I get that. At this phase, in my mind, it's, I think Clack's point, it's early. This is like the first sanctioned event in my opinion. So to just say, oh, well, this is going to collapse and we're going to get behind such and such, I'm not there yet. And again, I believe in me. I don't have a problem conceding if and when that time comes, but I think everybody sitting up here believes in themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. Elephant in the room, I'm going to address it. If you're in this room, you're probably ready for Purpose to be gone. And that's not no slam against her. But we all know that she had another event today, same day, almost identical time to this one. And there was a lot of misdirection with that. So, to Clack's point, 2 people are going to come out in May. Those 2 people go against each other in November. So from now to May, all 7 candidates have to put their best foot forward. To me, competition is great. That's going to make everybody step their game up. Ain't no half-stepping when you got this many people running. So for me personally, I didn't get in this race to lose. I'm passionate about my community. I'm ready to propel District 5 forward. But that was an excellent question, but yeah, it's too early for people to be dropping out. I don't want nobody to drop out right now, because I want to beat y'all.
Next question. Next question, this is 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Don't ask me.
30 seconds. What have you done to assist the present councilwoman?
I emailed her over and over and over and over. I called her. I stopped her legislative assistant and asked her, how can we work together? How can the community work with you to change the narrative around your name and your reputation in this district? The reason I did that is because I voted for her. Nobody wants to have to run against somebody that they voted for. But when I vote for you, I'm giving you a piece of my political power. And And when you don't show up in the way that you say you're going to show up, that's a different type of pain. And so now I have to take my power back.
So you haven't helped her. I have, and I have recently. As you may know, there's houses that are abandoned. And not necessarily abandoned, but recently, there's a house next door to one of my church members where someone swooped in and took over the house. The taxes have been paid, and they called the house their own. But it wasn't their own. Scared my church members. They told me about it in church. I got with my contact, and those people are not in that house anymore. You don't have to wait to be a council person to get work done. I'm getting work done now. My card's out there on the table with my number on it. You can take that and call me with your problem, and I can take care of it right now, and I don't have to be in Metro Council to do it.
The question is, what have you done to help the present councilwoman? First of all, I pray for this woman every night because leadership is not easy. Secondly, just like April has said, I have to agree with her. I've called her and I've called her. And I went one step further. I went to events that she sponsored to show support for what she's trying to do. For her to only turn her back and not even talk to me. I mean, this is the honest truth. And so I have reached out many times.
I don't have a relationship with Councilperson Purvis professionally or personally, so to answer the question, I haven't done anything to assist.
I say is, before I came here today, I went over to the town hall that she was having, and I was trying to talk to her, but we wound up getting dismissed. So,
All right, we have another question.
To fight for all the questions, but Mr. Tim said I only have one. So, this question is, how will you address the food shortages and the food deserts and the homeless/houseless problem in District 5?
I'll answer this real quick. I'm very sick of our neighborhood or whole community being a food desert. It's been a food desert for a very, very long time. A lot of the businesses that we bring in that supposed to bring food are like Family Dollars or Dollar General stores that don't have adequate food. I've seen like a grow on 44th Street where they're supposed to grow food for us and things like that. For some reason that got shut down. And I do believe that we need to bring in a lot of different people from the agricultural community to set up in our district that do vertical grows to help us get more quality food. And I also think that we also have stuff in place like ElderServe, Feed Louisville, and those different capacities need to be initiated or mobilized throughout the district.
So developing healthier neighborhoods is one of my political plans. And the way that I choose to do that, I would like to create more green spaces in District 5 where we're able to plant food. But I also want to put wellness classes in our community centers where we can go and learn how to do that. But outside of that, we have places like Change Today, Change Tomorrow that I believe the city should be collaborating with to make sure that she has everything that she needs to get food to people in the districts that she serves. And she's right there. She's in District 4, but she's right next door to us. And so I think that collaborative effort needs to happen. But then also, I'm looking into city-funded grocery stores. Because when I hear whispers of Kroger's closing, Save-A-Lot closing, I don't know how many grocery stores the one on Wilson has already been. But if we had city-funded grocery stores and it was funded by the city, we wouldn't have that problem.
Repeat the question for me, young lady, please.
How will you address the food shortages and the food desert and the homeless and houses problem in District 5?
Excellent question. I'm actually already working on the food portion before, I'm already working on the food portion. So I hosted, myself and a young man that actually just left, we hosted a food drive a couple weeks ago. And it was a huge success. We took their food and we donated it to a local food pantry that resides in District 5 and filled it up completely. So hopefully folks were able to access their food for folks that knew about it. Definitely big on community gardens. We definitely have a lot of green space that's empty, a lot of vacant lots. Gardens are important. Additionally, the Kroger on 28th, which is not in District 5, but that's the neighborhood Kroger that I go to. I was in one of the Krogers in the East End. Huh? Gotcha. Point being is not in District 5. Yeah. Time? Yeah, somebody cut me out, but that's okay. Long story short, they got free food at Kroger on 28th because I pushed an initiative to free fruit for the children on 28th Street Kroger because the one in the Highlands had it. And I asked them why they didn't have it on 28th, and now they have it, so.
Specify that question again, please.
How will you address the food shortages and the food desert and the homeless and houses problem in District 5?
Okay, first, being the Metro Council person, you need to work with the Metro Council. One person can't do it alone. You have to have a relationship with council, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, because it's a city in one. West Louisville is one. It's not just District 5, but District 5 is an oasis. To have the oasis looking well, you make groceries want to move here. You make restaurants want to move here. If we attack those other problems about the abandoned houses and enforce ordinances, otherwise they're not going to move here. It's going to remain a desert. So it's nice to plant a garden, but a garden's not going to feed everybody. You're the boss.
You know, I've been very successful in this community, because I know how to build a team. District 5 has not been a team. That's why we keep losing. That's why there's a food desert. Someone's got to be able to direct us into teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. It makes things happen. But as long as we got individuals, we will never solve any problem in this community. What you need is a good coach to show us how to be a team, and we can solve some problems.
You gave me one more question. So, as you know, it's the older generation's responsibility to protect and nurture the youth. What will you do to ensure the youth safety, whether it be their education or their lives? For example, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary is in a position where it needs all the help that it can get. And on top of that, a child who went to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary was killed on 30th and Greenwood. So what will you do to protect youth?
I kind of like specialize in youth development. Through my partnership with Fund for the Arts and Tech 5 for 5, I've been in King Elementary School for probably about like almost a month, interacting with the students and the staff there, and I advocate for the school. Last week we had a press conference in front of the school to talk about everything that's going on, to voice our opinions about the whole protocol JCPS has put in place as far as REAP and every other initiative to avoid this from even taking place. I think the Wednesday on the 3rd, there'll be a march from King to Shawnee and starting at 4:45. And I do believe everybody that's in this room today should be there to be a voice for King. It is the only elementary school in the Shawnee neighborhood. And they do deserve our support. To take those kids and uproot them and move them to Moppin, I don't think that's really a really good idea to do that. One of the ladies at the press conference spoke about how her daughter was in the 4th grade last year and is in the 5th grade and will be in the 5th grade next year, and how she wants her to graduate from King and she don't want her to have to get uprooted and go somewhere else. Also being in that school, it's a lot of ESL kids in there, foreign kids speaking different languages. So for them to have, for them to have from King to Moppin, that's gonna be horrible, you know, for the kids who walk. That's gonna be horrible for them, for the parents that go over to King weekly. I was told that the FR, the Friskies, give away tons of food to family members every single week, provide clothes and all kind of different things that those families need. To take that out of the district would be kind of horrible.
You've asked me this, that means you want me to answer. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to, that is a two-part question. You talked about how to keep the kids safe, but then we're also talking about how to save kings? Or like,
Nurture them, and like save them in all aspects, not just their lives, but also their education.
yeah, so, well, I believe in, as far as safety in the neighborhoods, I believe in community-powered safety. I don't believe that we should wait on LMPD to keep us safe, because my experience has been that they're reactive. The police come after you call them, right? And so I believe that we can do a better job as a community if we have the resources. So none of us can go out and police ourselves if we don't have the resources to do that. There's organizations that's already working in our communities, but they don't have anything to work with. And so if they had allocated funds, they will be able to do more and be more present. I also want to talk about how I took a group of kids when I asked them, what are you going to do after school, after you graduate high school? What is the plans? So many of them told me they either didn't think they were going to graduate, or that they didn't know black people went to college, or nobody in their family went to college. I took a group of them, along with some people in the room, down to Atlanta, Georgia, and I showed them HBCU's colleges. They were able to talk to some of the administrators, and to this day, 4 of them have graduated. So I would continue doing that work and continue to making sure that organizations in our community have what they need so that we can be a community-powered safety net for our kids.
Okay, I think we all understand that there is a direct connection between education and violence in prison. That there's no other way around it. So one of my initiatives would be to have a program in place that will incentivize young people to read more. The literacy rates in West End, specifically District 5, are lower than they need to be. So I feel like if my vision is to partner with the neighborhood libraries, and just from what I remember from my childhood, you read 10 books, you get a pizza, or whatever the incentive is. But we have to incentivize young folks to want to read, go to the library, make the library a safe space for young people. Back to the King piece, Clark made a good point. There's a rally coming up. I think we all need to, if time permits, get behind it and whatever we can do to keep them open. Because I actually went to 5 elementary schools, and King was one of them. So I do have a special place in my heart for King, so I would like to see it open. So whatever I can do to assure that they stay open, I will be open to that.
Let me hear that question again. I love hearing you read.
As you know, it's the older generation's responsibility to protect and nurture the youth. What will you do to ensure the youth's safety, whether it be their education or their lives?
Well, I taught school 23 years in JCPS. I'm retired. I retired in 2019 from Stephen Foster Traditional Academy, which is in West Louisville. I taught 5 years at Dancy Big Elementary, which is in the Russell area in West Louisville. And so that was a highlight moment to teach in West Louisville. That was my choice. I didn't have to, but that was my choice. And I loved it. I loved the kids, they loved me, and the parents loved me because I taught for the parents. I told the parents they were in charge. That's where I came up with, you're the boss. They are the clients. You're the client, and you'll be the boss. But I've already done that. That's what I'm continuing to do. So I'm going to talk about what I've done, and now let's talk about what's going to happen. We're going to continue that. I wrote a program with JCPS in 1994 before I started teaching called Project 2000, which was passed. And what it did, it brought African American men into the elementary classroom as volunteer teacher assistants. And that passed unanimously. And so I wasn't even a teacher then, but I wrote the program, and it was given to me by a doctor at Morgan State University. I saw him on 60 Minutes, and I saw him, and he sent me the information and gave me his blessing, and I wrote it for JCPS. So, I'd like to talk about what I've done, and that question is about what you're going to do. I'd like to talk about what I've done, and I will continue to work for the youth.
You know, for me, it's simple. I don't know why we make everything so hard. In order to protect the young folks that are coming up, you just have to love them. It's nothing hard about that. You know, when the Breonna Taylor riots was going on, this senior citizen here was right there with them. You know why? And when I was down there, it was so disrespectful to them. It's like, we don't need your old up here. We got this. This is us. Wait a minute. I'm telling the truth because I was there. And wait a minute. And all I told them was, I'm cool. Y'all do y'all things. I'm here for you. I'm here because I love you. And if you want to ask me anything, I sit right over on this corner. Because I realized we have to pass the baton on. And then for those that are younger than us, younger than the young adults, you simply have to not be afraid. When's the last time any adult just walked up to a young person and say, hey, how you doing? We don't do that because we're afraid of most of them. We cross the street. So if we're afraid to love them, how can we protect them? I'm just telling you because I live at Cecil and Broadway, and I'm dealing with it every day. And so I got it done because I'm a retired cop. But most of the time I don't carry it because I put my safety in God's hand. If he takes me, he takes me. But I want these young men out here to know I live in this neighborhood not because I can't move out, but because I still want to make a difference and I love you. That's how we make a difference and protect them.
We have around 10 minutes, so I'm going to ask this last question, and then for the remaining time, you'll have your final thoughts. So the final question is, what will you do to include all of those in the community you're representing, especially those who are not engaged in politics, but are active with the people? What will you do to involve all of those in the community you're representing, especially those who are not engaged in politics but are active with the people?
Well, see, that's half our problem right now, folks. That's why West Louisville's been controlled for years. There's 25,000 people in one district, and only 3,000 votes control the whole district. And they have learned how to weaponize us by controlling that 3,000. I've been trying my whole career to get that other 22 activated, but they don't trust us because they don't see any results. And then those that have answers to the solution, we get quiet. They have learned how to use big money to quiet the truth, to keep us down. And so my vision and my thoughts is to get the 3,000 out of the way, because we're not going to vote anyway. They're used to being in power, and try to empower the 22,000 that don't trust us anymore.
And that's why I say you're the boss. Exactly.
It's true.
There's people in here who are not going to vote.
All right.
Some of you are here for entertainment value.
All right.
But let's take it to another level. You have the right to vote. You got people in Washington that don't want you to vote. Why play it into their hands? West Louisville is symbolic of Louisville, which is a symbolic of Jefferson County, which is symbolic of the state and the country. Get out and vote and make your voice heard. That's why I keep saying you're the boss. I don't know any other way to say it, because I guarantee you, Your voice will be heard every day. Just look on the back of my card. My cell number's on the back of the card. I don't like giving my cell number out. But if you got an issue, and obviously you do because you're here and it's not being handled, I would try to handle it now for you, just to show you that it doesn't necessarily take her, even though she won't. But we must remove her from office. And with all of us, somebody needs to emerge, and I think we will. You're the boss.
You're the boss.
There is a laundry list of reasons as to why people don't vote. I've had conversations with folks that I consider friends and family over the years. People say that their vote doesn't matter. So when you're talking about, and what I explain to people is the presidential election, I understand why people feel like their vote doesn't matter, and that's a debate for a different day. But the conversation I have with people is at your local level, the people that you put in power can impact your community real quickly. So I think people, somebody said, but they don't. Well, that's why we're here. I feel like people need a reason to vote. So my job is to energize the base and take those folks who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and inspire them to want to get out there and rock their vote come May and come November.
I believe in new voter activation. It's a term that I learned when working for voter registration, getting people registered to vote. And as I worked on the different campaigns that I told you about earlier that I worked on, but I also think that we have to bring civic education back. And we can't depend on JCPS to do it. So I feel like I have a personal responsibility to do it myself. I believe in district-wide advisory boards, a place where people can come and speak their concerns, but it's also a place where we can create a committee that will be able to facilitate civic education classes. I sit on the board for the Kentucky Alliance Against Political and Racist Repression. And in January, I'll be rolling out civic education programming for all ages through the Kentucky Alliance Board, because this has been a discussion. But I'll also add the way that I will engage, the way that I have been engaging, because I've gotten, I think I'm close up to a couple hundred now, people as new voters and registered to vote. And the way that I did that, we would be set up in Kroger's parking lot with tables. I'd be the one that's out there talking about, are you registered to vote? Code, But the way that I was able to connect with these people was through my own story, because I used to be one. I didn't care nothing about politics until I realized how much politics shows up in my everyday life. Amen. And when I started becoming more political, it was because Barack Obama was running, and I only looked at presidential races. But when I became an activist and I started showing up in Metro Council meetings and I started being in certain rooms learning the civic education myself, I realized how important local elections were. And so I used my own story to get people involved.
I would like to say, in 2018 when I ran, I registered probably over 300 new voters for that election. Because I believed in changing the system, getting all new people involved. And I truly believe that in order for Metro Council to be trusted, we literally have to change the infrastructure of Metro Council and be able to provide immediate response and immediate resources to people. In the office, it's only like 2 people in the office handling everything every single day, but that has to be built out until where it's way more strategic, where it's way more different phone calls. When the phone calls come in, it have to be different stuff in place, like homelessness. It have to be a whole segment strictly for homelessness. If it's food security, something specifically for food security. If it's about senior citizens, something specifically for senior citizens. That way the response time can be a lot faster. And I think that'll restore the trust that all of us have in Metro government. For one, it's all about being heard. A lot of people don't feel heard. A lot of people feel like they wasting their time. When you sit up here and listen to people say they done called up Earth thousands of times, they can't get speed bumps, they can't get the things that they need, it's because it's a lot of different moving parts going on right there. But we have to build out a whole new system and infrastructure in order to handle all the needs of the community.
Now, this is the final, 30-second follow-up. Why should the people in this room trust you enough to vote for you?
That's a good question.
30 seconds. Why should the people in this room trust you enough to vote for you?
First, I would say this. You got to do your own research. A lot of us can sit up here and tell you anything we want to tell you right now. You can believe us by the tone of our voice if you want to. But if you go out here and you look up every last one of us and see our backgrounds and what we've done, that'll empower you to make a solid vote. Like, I don't like bragging too much or even talking too much. I'm an action person. I put in a lot of work in the community and been doing it for a long time. So for me to sit up here and just brag and say I done this and I done that, I feel kind of awkward doing that. Even though this is a place where we are supposed to pat ourselves on the back and toot our own horn, I don't feel all the way comfortable doing that. So I would challenge every last person in this room, especially in District 5, to do your homework.
I would never tell you why you should trust me, because your trust comes from within yourself. And that is a given, and it has to be earned. So when I show you why you should trust me, then that's when you can give me your trust. Trust is never something that's given freely, and it's never something that should be handled any kind of way. So once I earn your trust, I'll do everything I can to maintain and keep your trust. But I will say that most of you all in this room know me. You've seen the work that I've done in the community, that I continue to do. But most importantly, a lot of you all know how I've made you feel through the work that I've done.
And I echo what they said. You know, you guys have to do your due diligence and vote for the person that you feel like is going to propel District 5 forward. But on a personal note, again, I've been in the social services space for a very long time. My passion are young folks, specifically youthful offenders, juvenile delinquents, whatever you want to call them. I just feel like that's the future. These young folks that are here, they are already on track. But we got a whole generation of folks that are way off track. And so a part of my platform is to be able to redirect those folks. Because whether we like it or not, the ski masks, the sagging pants, that's the future. And we got to redirect those folks.
I'm an active member of the NAACP. Hello, my friend over there, Madam Secretary. I go to the meetings, and I just didn't go to the meetings when I applied for this job. I've been active in the last year. I work with Veterans Affairs on that. Veterans is very high on priority. That wasn't talked about a lot tonight, but I'm a disabled veteran. I love the veteran. We fought for this country. I love the Lord. I was raised in the church. And I go to church at Queen Chapel A&E Church in 19 and Muhammad Ali. My staff is active too. Treasurer Mike Anderson, campaign manager Neil Roberts.
You know, it's no secret that not too many people in this room know who Sir Friendly C is. You know me because of love, hope, and respect. And that's what I've always given this community, and I won't stop giving it to this community.
Just 10 seconds. Tell us where we can get information about you, and tell us what neighborhood you live in. Where we can get information about you and what neighborhood you live in.
You can reach me. My name is Ray Sir Friendly C. Barker. You can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me, Ray Barker for Metro Council, District 5, and I live in the Chickasaw neighborhood.
Well, it's going to the 3rd. I live on Northwestern Parkway, right at Shawnee Golf Course. You can reach me on Facebook. On my page, District 5 on Facebook, and Wallace Cornbread Corner on Facebook page also. And on back of my card.
What neighborhood you live in?
Say again,
What neighborhood?
I live on Northwestern Parkway, right beside the golf course. The Shawnee neighborhood. Bring us up to Shawnee. You're the boss.
I live in the Chickasaw neighborhood, and I can be reached on Facebook, David Duncan, Duncan,
I live in the Shawnee neighborhood, and I encourage anybody else in here that lives in the Shawnee neighborhood to join the Shawnee Neighborhood Association. Our president is right there. Her name is Erica Seaward. We would love to have you. And to connect with me, you can stop at my table right outside. I have a QR code that you can scan that will take you to aprilhearn.org. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under April Hearn.
That's right.
You can find me on Facebook too under Lavon Clark, also Prominent Youth of America Incorporated. You can go to, we got flyers here with QR codes on the back. You can go to www.revivethefive.org and learn a lot more about me and my campaign.
And what neighborhood?
My neighborhood is Russell.
Okay.
But the website is www.revivethefive.org.
Can we give all of these candidates a hand? I think they did a fantastic job. Also, we'd like to go help me celebrate the youth who did a wonderful job moderating, testing. Listen, before you go, you are sitting, you're standing in one of the most thrivingest communities in the area. We need volunteers. We need help here at ElderServe. Please see one of our staff, see me, and make sure that you give us your information. Last but not least, stop by their tables, get information, and please, everybody drive home safe. God bless you. Everybody, I pray God's blessing and protection upon all of you. Amen.
Healthy Business Connect Us empowers families to thrive through holistic well-being, early child development, and accessible health care.
We are committed to fostering connections, knowledge sharing, and support networks that enhance the physical, mental, and emotional health of children, parents, and caregivers.
By building bridges between healthcare providers, social services organizations, educators, and families,
we aspire to create a world where every child experiences a healthy and nurturing start.
Setting the foundation for a brighter future.
We want to thank you all for coming out tonight, viewing what I thought was a very productive conversation. Here at ElderServe, we want all the candidates to know how much we appreciate our community. So until the next time, please be safe and look forward to hearing more from these candidates.
Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Lunch Night.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.
Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Lunch Night.